We are once again back on Ek Boon Soch Ki Tea Talk with a series of an episode with Dr. Niel Sequeira. So, what we have seen in episode 1, episode 2, interesting journey, from where you have started and now you are into the health sector where kahan na kahan Ek Boon Soch Ki, that personal touch which was there, like to you to do the work for the humanity at large, and which I think got into the health sector. Can you share some further experience with Hinduja and Kokila Band?
So then subsequently I moved to Kokila Ben Ambani Hospital. I had a great 8 years, approximately 8 years over there. Worked with great people over there. It is a very large hospital, around 750 odd beds hospital. It actually taught me a lot of things of handling a very large setup, interacting with different stakeholders. Also gave me the opportunity to handle other areas. I was also heading the nursing college over there, and it was a great experience. And then subsequently, there's somebody who's a person very close to my heart, Dr. Sultan Pradhan. I worked very closely on a project for cancer, building a cancer hospital for poor patients. Mm-hmm. So right now I am moved over as a COO for an institution called as Head and Neck Cancer Institute of India. Mm-hmm. It's a 100-bed hospital coming up at Dockyard Road. We have research and a collaboration with Tata's. Mm-hmm. And we'll be treating patient at Tata rates. I thought it's a great opportunity to give back to society. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how do you promote the diversity at the workplace while you're working with all this organization?
Okay, now I think I'll be a little critical on this. Okay?
No problem.
If you permit me, sir.
No problem. It's your channel.
People talk about diversity, like they talk about a single malt whiskey. Yeah, it's become fashionable. I mean, diversity is not about hiring diverse people. I think diversity is about treating people equally and fairly. Mm-hmm. I mean, you recruit women and you are diverse. But are you giving those women a secure place to work? Mm-hmm. Are they being treated with respect? I think, it's very important for people to treat people with dignity, mm-hmm. and to treat people with equality, to be fair to people. Mm-hmm. And if you are able to do that, you are diverse. If you are unable to do that, you may actually go about recruiting, people from different religions, people from different sexual orientations, people from, people across cultures. And then once you get them there, if you are not going to treat them locally, you're going to create a bigger problem.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So that's why my thought about diversity is that please do diversity. If you can treat people equally.
Really?
If you don't think you got the ability to treat people equally, don't put diversity like a tagline over there just to talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So great. How do you direct and drive the positive work environment within the organizations?
I think to direct and drive positive work environment, leaders themselves have to be positive. Mm-hmm. You yourself have to be optimistic. You yourself have to see good in people. You yourself should be able to motivate. You yourself have to be motivated. Mm. If many a times a leader does this classic mistake of being very angry, upset, frustrated at what has happened to him on top, and he comes and he puts it down on his people, or then he himself ends up saying that, "Arey yaar, yahan kuch nahi hone wala hai." You can't do that because you're the leader.
Yeah.
Your people look up to you. So to drive positive work environment, I believe that you have to be positive yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to be driven yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to look for the good in people, and you have to take people. You have to carry people along. Mm-hmm. You have to lead people by the front, and that's what the army teaches you. I'm a big fan of the way the army functions.
They function, yeah.
Disciplined way, yeah. Look at the motivation levels. Not because they run motivation programs. Yeah. It's because their methodology of functioning is such that the leader leads from the front.
Leads from the front. You have to follow his
command. When the time comes, he walks the line. He stands. Right. He stands
by
there.
The unit.
He stands by the unit.
Okay. Any mistake you have made along the way, any wrong decision which you feel?
Oh, lots of them.
So, can you share something with
lots of them. Lots of them. I think a couple of times I have forgiven people uh, who made disciplinary mistakes uh, by thinking by my heart rather than the logical part of the brain,
Mhm.
and it really came back to bite me because those people were back in the organization. They created a ruckus, this, that, etc. Uh, there have also been some mistakes which, in terms of choice of organizations which I made.
Mhm.
There have been some mistakes in terms of people whom I selected. I mean, I'm a psychologist. People normally tell me I'm supposed to read brains, but I think, there have been some mistakes. There have been some
Mistake which
mistakes.
you have
Yeah,
made.
but it's very important, sir, that you learn from these mistakes.
Correct.
You know, I think all of us do mistakes. Most of our mistakes we do in our personal lives itself. But it's very important to learn from these mistakes. If you don't learn from these mistakes, then I think they will sink you.
That's where the experience comes
That's where the
from
experience
from
comes.
the failure
Yes,
as such.
yes.
What are the biggest factor which we could see Dr. Niel Sequeira as a successful person at the top of the pyramid into the HR fraternity as such? Which is that factor which you would like to
I think hard work.
like?
I think hard work. I think, I would attribute it totally to hard work, sir. I don't know whether intelligence and this and that. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, I work very hard. I still continue to work very hard. Um, very inspired by my father who worked very, very hard. I'm very inspired by so many other people who I see around me who work for 12 hours a day. There are some doctors who operate 14 hours a day in institutions. There are some people who work very, very hard, and and after I'll tell you, for a person who works hard, I mean, he doesn't feel he's working hard. And
Sky
what
is
is
the
more
limit.
important is that when you enjoy what you're doing, you don't
Correct.
feel that. It doesn't stress you at all. It doesn't become a burden. Yeah.
Now, what do you see are major events or the trend or the changes that will change HR in 5 years down the line?
I think technology. I think there are two things which will happen. One is, of course, technology which has come in. Second is the focus on people.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you look at the HR function, we began with scientific management, and then we said that we need an ideal man to run the machine.
Mm-hmm.
Then we said, okay, the ideal man probably, but the ideal man is now creating a problem. So we said unions. So then you moved into the IR zone where you said we had to control people, make them happy, or they'll create a ruckus. But I think HR will slowly move again to that phase where you'll understand that the business happens because of people. It's going to be a people. It's already there in that. The focus on people, retaining them, maintaining them, ensuring that will actually be very important.
Now, in fact, here we have seen on TikTok platform the brief introduction of Dr. Niel Sequeira about his journey, right from education till his first job and till Head and Neck Cancer Institute of India. We have seen the gist and brief of that. But I'm sure we are going to have a small nugget with Dr. Niel Sequeira where his experience, his learning, and the overall moral of a story from that learning. I'm sure just follow Dr. Niel Sequeira on TikTok for next nugget. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.